Great stuff from Diamond. Quick shots fired as well. Great to hear from him after that victory. We got to break it down, though. Let's surpass the early game as it was such a long game and great things happening in the mid game. Starting off with Elements actually taking control and having that game plan in the mid game.
So yeah, I think Elements definitely came out ahead in the early to mid game, and basically Gambit's comp, as the casters were already saying in the game, they were looking for picks, but Elements was really not allowing that. Then they stacked up some dragons, and basically they punished Gambit every time they overreached. Actually, I like to commend the Elements that they improved in some areas, such as Wicked's TPs. I think this game were a lot better than they were in the past. So they actually got ahead. I think we have a replay of that already, so we can get that up on your screen immediately and show what went wrong for Gambit and what went well here. This is a good idea, by the way. Slight misplay by Gambit here. In my opinion, they should have dropped the Lantern first and then used Killer's ulti because it works that way. But they picked up the champion this week. They're finally practicing, you know. They could have had Reckless here. Reckless did a good sidestep, outplay that. But what I want to take away from here is, yeah, plays, you know, hooks can miss and Lantern combo, you can learn that from a champion. But Wicked definitely TP'd in here immediately and he came to the rescue, and Alliance was playing as a team, or Elements rather, was playing as a team. But then they got ahead. And then how do you translate that advantage? With your composition, you cannot 4-1 split push as Elements, so you need to look to siege, right? And they kept sieging, and then this is where Gambit really impressed me. They managed to wave clear and keep Elements off their tower for incredible amounts of time, and this is where Elements faltered. In my opinion, they should have stepped back and started baiting Baron. They picked up the Orcus Lens, they should have warded and forced Gambit to face check, because if you have to face check into the Cataclysm, into the walls, the Anivia stunts, then the catch from Elements makes sense. Or Elements should have just pulled the trigger. Okay, we're on the tower, you guys are defending with mediocre wave clear. Okay, I'm gonna Rumble ulti the left side, Anivia wall and ulti the right side. You guys can't even come close to that tower anymore. We're gonna kill that tower and back off. Instead, they let Gambit flank them. Gambit was super resilient, and Edward, I've given him flag for his performance. This game he played really well. He landed so many hooks and he didn't commit on them, and that was the important part. They kept just launching these skill shots out, never committing, never throwing, and then it finally happened, and I think we have a replay for that as well.
We have a replay of the turning point in that game where Gambit got back in charge because Elements couldn't close the deal on that mid tower.
They just have to pull the trigger before the wave gets obliterated. But look here, NIQ or Nick at the side, Diamond on the top, you know, Pinoy and Edward chasing. They force Froggen's flash here. They get Nip, really good hook by Edward. This is what the fight means. They force Rumble ulti, but they back off. Diamond doesn't get caught, you know, he keeps kiting and spreading them out. One by one, Gambit is eating away at the sides of Elements here, but they're never overreaching that final crucial step where they got caught. Nick flashes the Froggen Q, you know, in the back, Diamond's cleaning up. Reckless tries to get him, but the Spellvam actually makes him survive a little bit. And then somehow Gambit stays alive, they get the Baron, and this is where my point is actually going to. It's the Baron was the crucial thing about this game. If Elements had a Baron buff, they had that extra resilience on the minions. There is no way in hell Gambit would have cleared those waves, you know. They finally pick up Froggen here, but both teams needed the Baron. You saw how hard it was for Gambit to siege into an Anivia as well. We've seen that in the past before. We've had that game, 25 minutes, sit in base, you know, Anivia wave clear. And this is why I really like the new Baron mechanic that Riot introduced. It makes breaking sieges a lot harder, and it allows you to siege with not siege-specific comps a lot better, and Gambit used that Baron to their advantage. They snowballed it, and Elements, they should have had that Baron earlier. They should have used it for the face check, and if they didn't, they should have just taken it, and they would have won the game that way. So Baron, very crucial, and impressed. Gambit, definitely compared to yesterday already, and compared to the weeks before, they got a lot better.
Yeah, and for me also that Pinoy was on Kalista. He wasn't able to do that much. He got behind, but then they got the objectives because of the power he deals to that. And with Diamond, who was able to steal so many objectives away, which is maybe a little luck even in the game as well, but they capitalize on it, which is their merit.
So he had that one blue buff. That was a warded blue buff with his
First
spear.
dragon. Yeah.
Not really that lucky. Yeah, I understand. The beauty in the one dragon steal was he launches his spear, goes into cat form, hops over the wall, smites, they impact for like 1,000 damage. There is no way Shook could do that. What again, Elements is not reading the game properly. They need to pull that dragon out, block the spear, and then it's a 50-50 smite with 6 people or 5 people on Element side hitting it, and only Diamond having a chance to hit it at the same time. So definitely way better synergy coming out from Diamond, which is just outsmarting them. And yeah, impressive play. I think Elements really dropped the ball, but really good job for Gambit for catching it.
One last thing about Elements, this is an 0-2 week for them. When we were talking about the matchups they had beforehand, you said, I want to see some new things from them, some new picks. Here we see no new picks, and even going back to a new old pick, which is the Anivia for Froggen in the mid lane. What does that signal for you?
I don't think compositions matter as much as the way you play them. They could have won. They got ahead with the composition. and they just didn't recognize what their win conditions were, as a lot of people like to call them. I think they could have won that siege by burning through all their ultis and just investing the cooldowns to get the tower. Once the inhib was open, it was free, or just get the objective. But they just didn't play right, and then they got surprised, I think, by the sheer amount of mobility coming out from Ari and Italy in the flanks, and then really just almost line skill shots, you know, binding, hook, Nidalee spear, all coming out, and they have this really slow mobile comp that only works well as a group. Eventually somebody's going to get hit.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Gambit, the only thing that really surprised me is how the hell did Gambit wave clear with those champions so well without losing any like tier 3 towers, base towers.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The fights were so long that even if Gambit didn't hit all their skill shots, because Elements didn't pull the trigger, they were going to hit a charm or a hook or a Morgana binding once in a while. But hey, Gambit, all props to them. Fantastic on closing that one out. We're about to take a break, so head over to lolesports.com and be sure to check out our interview with Imagine Dragons and Riot Games composer Christian Link, who talks about creative process involved in remixing the Dragons I Bet My Life. It's been fantastic. I already listened to it. There's also a special acoustic performance as well as behind the scenes. So look at their journey to last year's Worlds. Fantastic piece. Definitely check that out. But for us, up next is a Copenhagen Wolves versus Fnatic. Let us know who you think will come out on top in our next game. Tweet at LL Esports with the hashtag CWWin or FNCWin, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Right now, it's all about this matchup. Gambit and Elements. Oh, yes, he is. He gets the hook on Nif. They go in forward, but Reckless flaying him backwards. Wicked is here, comes in first. They bring in Pinoy. Do they have the damage? The spear's not going to connect. Teleport, however, is coming in.
Can we finish them?
Got time. Got flash.
He's gonna this guy.
They're going on me, on me. I'm alive, I'm alive.
Is isolated. He takes so much damage from this team. Fate's Call pulls him back to safety. The Baron goes down. Diamond was able to grab it. They've got Nif. Gambit Gaming destroy Elements and pick up win number 3.